What is going on, everyone? And man, do we have some major news to cover. I don't think anyone expected this news to come out, but here we are. In this video, we're going to talk about recent news that has come out for Sphere 3D. I'm going to share some caution flags as well as share whether or not I'm still buying the stock at the current share price. So on February 4th, Sphere 3D announced that they have signed a deal to buy 60,000 new miner machines for $1.7 billion. Now, looking at this from the surface level, you would think that this is like any other top Bitcoin mining company, so it would be a solid deal. But when we dive deeper, we can see that this is no ordinary deal. When we think of other Bitcoin mining companies, we see that many of them use Bitmain as their main Bitcoin miner provider. And even though these miners are great, they are nowhere near as good as these miners. According to New Miner, their NM440s have a hash rate of 440 terahashes per second, 122% greater than their rival Bitmain's newest machines. Their hash rate is so fast that it's 8 times faster than any average miner. And on top of that, they use 75% less energy than them as well. These miners will significantly help any company with their margins. To put all this into perspective, Bitmain's most recent miner, the S19 Pro Plus, has a hash rate of 198 terahash per second. Now, of course, we need to take this with a grain of salt because this is coming from New Miner, but even if the miners were 75 to 100% better, that is still significant. But the chair of New Miner's global board of directors, Anthony Melman, who was appointed to Sphere 3D's board of directors and will begin in March of 2022, stated that these numbers were substantiated by a leading third-party testing company, TUV Nord Certified Lab BTL. Now, for clarification, I don't really know much about this company, but it is nice to see that there was a third party running these numbers and it wasn't in-house numbers. So the delivery of these miners will begin the late second quarter of 2022, which hopefully by that point the merger will have gone through. And that means that they would be under the name Gryphon Digital Mining. After the delivery of all the miners, they will have 60,000 of the Antminer S19 Pro Pluses and 60,000 of the New Miner's NM440s. Sphere 3D says that the deal put the company on pace to be one of the largest carbon neutral Bitcoin miners, and after all the miners have been delivered, their total hash rate would be 32.4 exahash per second. And to put that into perspective, Gryphon Digital, who's one of the largest publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies, said on February 4th, they have a current hash rate of 3.6 exahash. And they're planning to increase to 23.3 exahash by 2023. So that truly goes to show that if this company executes on all their deliveries, they could easily surpass Marathon. But when it comes to their deliveries, the company will receive 12 pre-production NM440s for the final evaluation and testing to be completed on or before June 1st of 2022. After the testing and evaluations have been completed, there will be 1,000 miners deployed in June of 2022, and then approximately 10,000 NM440s will be delivered each month from September of 2022 to February of 2023. Now, I know some people are going to think, well, that's 4 months from now, but this will allow the company to make sure that their miners are legitimate before getting all of these miners. Plus, there's still a lot of work that will need to get done between now and June because of the merger. Now, with all that said, I want to give a couple of caution flags to consider when it comes to this contract and investing in this company. First, when we look at this contract, we can see that it'll cost them $1.7 billion. This could mean that the valuation is a lot higher than what a lot of us were expecting. Plus, in order to get all of these miners, here's how they will have to pay it off. First, they will have $429 million in down payments, $400 million from common stock, and $29 million in cash. Then $1.1 billion is going to come from vendor financing from New Miner. So really, we won't see the true results of this financing probably until after the merger and closer to the back half of the second quarter. The rest of the money will be milestone payments. For transparency, this isn't something that I've looked deeply into yet, but over the next few days, I'll make sure to get some clarity on this information. So looking at these numbers, it appears to be a lot of debt and a lot of dilution. But I believe that as long as the miners do what New Miner says that they can do, then it'll make up for it pretty quickly. The other caution flag to consider is that the merger still hasn't gone through yet. And a lot of this contract is going to be dependent on that merger. So over the next few months, these companies need to show clarity as to how they're going to be able to afford these miners if bigger funds are going to take them seriously. But nonetheless, this contract is still significant news in my opinion, because as long as this deal goes through, they will be the company I expected them to be, which is one of the largest crypto mining companies in the world. And I do believe that both of these companies are going to be able to pull this off. I mean, when you just look at the management teams, especially Gryphon Digital, they have so many outstanding connections, and this contract proves it. Now they are in a position of power because of the innovative miners that they have, which will decrease energy usage and increase hash rate substantially. Now, do I believe that this company is still a buy even though the stock has gone up over 30%? Yes and no. Personally, I'm comfortable with my position, especially because of the caution flags that I've mentioned before. But if I was given a scenario where I either didn't have a position or I thought my position wasn't built out yet, then I wouldn't mind adding, especially if this is for a 3 to 5 year hold. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, would you consider destroying that like button? That helps this channel immensely, as well as comment down below your thoughts on this deal. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you're notified when new content comes out. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next one.